Yo, mi gente, your boys coming through once again. And on today's video, we're going to talk about Wes Watson and his current situation and the ego of the YouTubers who somehow believe they are a success story and how they pretend or they act like they're better than everybody else, even better than other YouTubers, right? This video is not to bring down Wes Watson at all, because first of all, we don't have nothing against him. Second of all, I don't believe that we should make, I mean, at least that's not my get down, making fun of somebody who's actually doing pretty bad and can possibly lose everything, right? That's messed up, right? That's not my get down. So we're gonna talk about his current situation, what's going on, and how these individuals, YouTubers, sometimes feel like they're better than the next man, to the point of acting like their stuff doesn't stink, right? So before we continue with this video, do not forget to hit the like, a comment, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel, hit the subscribe button. It does not take nothing from you, and at the end of the day, just helping the channel, which I do highly appreciate it. By the way, you can hit the notification bell to be notified every time we drop content on this canal, on this channel, right? So let's get to this story, right? So as many of you guys know, right, Wes Watson came into fame as he started his channel, start talking about prison stuff. He got a lot of numbers. Whether the stories were truth or not, who cares, man? But the thing that happened is that he blew up, right? He blew up. Eventually, he moved into the fitness thing. Why? Because I believe they pay you way more. So he was smart in making that transition, and now having a plan that a lot of people would take and pay a lot of money for it, right? At the end of the day, man, you don't need to have a plan like this. Everything is in the internet. Just do your research and you're gonna find it, right? So at the end of the day, he found something that he was able to work and made him money, right? Do I believe he's a success story? Yes, I do. This individual came from prison. He was struggling for maybe 1-2 years. I don't know how long. He was living with his mom or grandma, whoever. He was living in San Diego. But eventually, he found a way out, right? He found a way to make money, and he succeeded in this thing. At the end of the day, let's just be honest. Not a lot of people like Wes Watson. Why? Because of his whole ego, personality. And that's the nice thing about everybody, man. We're different. We all have different personalities, and sometimes that personality can bring you down, right? The same way that took you where you're at, that same personality can bring you down. And we have seen this, or we are seeing this right now with Wes Watson. So for those who don't know, I'm pretty sure everybody knows about this, but I'm going to give you my opinion on this. This individual is having legal troubles. He beat up some individual who he invited. He invited to his gym. He was, you know how it goes. You get trolls, and you're like, well, Kyle, come here, man. I'm gonna be on this gym. I'll be waiting for you. And this individual decided to go. So once he went over there, he got beat up. He got beat up. Did he got that coming? You know what? Honestly, yeah. At the end of the day, you came to my spot. I didn't know what was your intentions. So I'm going to do what I have to do. Simple as that. You're not going to come over here while you talking shit through the computer and think that I'm just going to give you a hug and take a picture with you. That's reality, man. That's reality. Now, the way he went about it, how they jumped, oh boy, and did what they did, well, that's a whole different story. But at the end of the day, that individual got what he was looking for. Straight up, right? So because of this, Wes Watson was looking, or it has criminal charges, but this individual decided to sue Wes Watson, the gym, because the gym was hiding the footage, I think, for the cops. And at the end of the day, they end up getting busted, right? They were like, hold on, man, this doesn't make sense. And he sued a friend of Wes Watson who participated on this individual's ass whooping. Now, he sued Wes Watson. Wes Watson got served. So once he got served, you already know. That lady's gonna report everything. Okay, I give this paper to this individual who looks like this. So she gave a description of Wes Watson. Now, I'm pretty sure everybody knows about this. If you don't know, man, pay attention. So whenever you get a lawsuit, a civil lawsuit, if you don't respond, you basically forfeiting. You don't want to fight. You know what I mean? You don't want to defend yourself. And guess what? You give the right to the individual who's suing you, right? So if the individual suing you for $1 billion, by you not presenting yourself or even responding, responding to the lawsuit, you're basically giving the right to this individual. Like, oh, he's right, you know. So now the court, the judge, is gonna go on his favor. You know, okay, you're right, man. This guy didn't want to show up. You win. Simple as that. So now Wes Watson property, uh, any kind of money he has is in jeopardy, right? Because this individual apparently sued him for millions of dollars. He's not gonna sue him for $50,000. He's gonna sue him for a lot of money, because at the end of the day, he wants to come with a settlement, right? But apparently this guy won. Now, I don't know if Wes Watson had his property protected, his whatever money he has, if he had it protected, right? Because we have heard of the LLC, right? So that's if you go as a company, right? Because you want to protect your company, and I'm assuming that the Wes Watson brand might be a company, right? So I don't know how he has his stuff, if he's gonna be protected, but at the end of the day, man, this individual had it all. Wes Watson had it all. Had the money, success. He made something out of himself, and that's something that a lot of people want to do, right? But the ego of these YouTubers who get like 300,000 views, there's basically like what, like $20,000 around there. Now they act like they're better than the next man. We have seen this in different YouTubers, not only Wes Watson, in where the ego gets to them. You know, once they feel important, once they see that the public, the viewers are watching them, giving them attention, sending them money and stuff like that, they feel like they're untouchable. They feel like they're something, right, better than the rest of us. And that's when people lose contact with reality, because everybody's within reach. You know what I mean? You have to understand the whole word of being humble and being appreciative of what life has given to you. Why? Because maybe what you've been through, right? It's, you know what? I have a rough life. Now it's time for me to win. And individuals like Wes Watson and other YouTubers have won. And since they cannot handle money, they never had money in their life, they change. See, I heard this one guy saying, money doesn't change you, because at the end of the day, you are who you are. But the more money you got, your true colors come out. You know, you start acting like you're too good. You still acting or treating others with disrespect, and possibly call them a bum. Why? Because they don't have the same hustle as you, right? It doesn't mean that somebody's a bum just because they don't have the same hustle as you. You know, maybe the way they went about life was not the right way, but in reality, just because I made it big, it doesn't mean that everybody who goes through the same route as me and didn't make it is a bum, you know? And they're trying and they're putting in work however they can, right? But still, just because they haven't made it to the level that we are, doesn't mean that his channel is less than me. And you have individuals like Wes Watson doing this. At the end of the day, we're not here to talk bad about Wes Watson. Why? Because we don't have nothing against him. And I don't think it's cool to clown, make fun of somebody who's on the ground and possibly can lose everything, right? Because at the end of the day, imagine, just put yourself in that situation. You know, you have to put yourself in that situation and understand that that's another person, that's another individual who made bad decisions in his life and still hasn't got it. You know, still hasn't got it. And why is that? Because he hasn't worked on himself. But because of these bad decisions that he had made in his life, he's about to lose everything. But we'll see what happens. This is one thing about YouTubers, man. The ego. Once they get some views, the ego kicks in. They act like their shit doesn't stink. You know? They think that their channel is way better than the next one. If somebody made content about them, they call, oh, it's their fucking little channel, only picking up 1,000 views. But guess what? That same channel, the big channel, at one point of his life was only picking 1,000 views. You know, and it's funny how these individuals make it to a certain level, and now they think that they're above everybody else. And this is what happens. Look what happened to Wes Watson. Their ego gets to their head. They make bad decisions in life. They take everything for granted, and everything gets taken away from them. So, with this being said, we're out. And remind yourself, man, always stay humble. Doesn't matter how much money you have. Remind yourself where you came from. And the same way that you got everything is the same way that can go away from you. So, with this being said, ahora sí, we are out. To next video. Gracias.